Good evening and welcome to Alan's Italy. Today is a very special show because it is marking the 1 year anniversary of the beginning of the show. My first broadcast was on December 16th, 2011. So actually, the anniversary should be Sunday, but today is the closest show to that. So this was intended to be a very special, different kind of a show, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. Then, of course, I heard about the terrible tragedy that occurred in Connecticut, and I had like a bucket of cold water thrown over me, and you can't possibly exist without feeling this horrible, horrible feeling. And I was an assistant principal in a high school for 26 years. I was a teacher in that school, and I was a college teacher. And of course, I'm a parent and a grandparent. So there's no words to express the horror and the sadness. But I have pretty strong opinions on the whole thing, which I'm not going to state here because this is not the purpose of the show. I've tried to always keep this show to be simply, an entertaining show about Italy. So, amid this horrible tragedy, our hearts go out for all the people who are suffering from it and will suffer for the rest of their lives. And but I'm going to continue with the show, and perhaps sometime in the future I'll talk about my opinion of how to solve the problem. But right now, I'd like to let me go to the album that's related to this particular tonight's show. Let's see if we can get rid of that bottom thing. That's always an issue with this, isn't there? Let's see what happens if it goes away. Okay, give it a minute. Maybe it'll eventually dissipate. That's a weird thing, I gotta tell you. I gotta certainly solve that problem. Let me try it again. Sorry about that. Okay, there it goes. Thank goodness. Okay. Anyway, so as you could see, it is show number 45. We started, on December 16th, and there were, I think I figured out that there were 8 shows that we did not do for, one reason or another live. There was always something going on here, and Ellen would put in a DVD of a previous show, and that's how we would handle that situation. But I did take a few days off because I was on vacation and I had other things going on, and we had some technical difficulties a couple of times. So I think we did pretty well. 45 shows is not a bad amount. It's impossible to know how many people have actually seen the show over the past year, but they could have seen it in one of several ways. Of course, they could see it live at 5 o'clock on Friday evenings. They could see it in the repeat mode, and what I do is usually I bring a DVD to the town supervisor's office, and I give it to Angela Sweet, who then puts it on what's called the carousel, and then it's played the following week. So this show would not be played, starting Sunday, but would be played starting the Sunday after that. I guess that would be December 23rd. Okay, so that's how that would work. So, but there's no way of knowing how many people see it. And of course, a lot of people are now seeing the show in Saugerties. There's no way of knowing that either. So, but I do have some statistics because I do put the show on YouTube, as you might be aware of. And as of about 3 hours ago, 5,103 hits have been made to my YouTube site. That's not to say that every single one of those was a person who watched the show from beginning to end. We don't know what goes on. Somebody could get to the site, say, looks like a pretty long show. I don't really have the time for this, and leave it, and we wouldn't know that. But certainly 5,103 people have actually gone to the site to at least take a look. And the most popular show of all the 44 previous shows, was the show I did on Civita di Banreggio, and that had 358 hits, which is, quite a lot. And you could understand it. If you saw the show, you'd know that it was a pretty special thing. And Civitara is certainly my favorite hill town in all of Italy, so it's pretty amazing. In number two position is Venice, which had 300 hits. And then third is Rome, one of the two Rome shows that I did, which had 280. And then Cinque Terre was that beautiful area on the Italian Riviera, the southern portion. And then Lake Como had 271. So those are the top five, and those were certainly, pretty memorable experiences. So we know that. Then, of course, I do a blog, and the blog I do is usually the day after I do the show. So I do the show Friday night, and then I wait 24 hours because I don't like to start writing as soon as I get home because I'm all pent up and I can get a clarity for what's going on the next day. So the next day I usually write the blog. Sometimes it's the day after. And, maybe 15 people started reading it the very first time I put it on, but here we are a year later, and in the past week I've had 81 hits on my blog, which is really amazing for a total of 2,122 hits on the blog over the course of the past year, and that number has certainly gone up. By the time I get the blog for this show on the internet, which will be tomorrow or Sunday, this number of 81 will probably really be closer to 100. So it's nice. I talk about the show and I talk about my, feelings about how I do the show and why I do the show and my, some of my personal feelings about my experience. And I talk about the incredible job that Ellen does and the amazing job that other people have done to help, including Richard Spool and Angela Sweet and the town of Woodstock itself. So, people like reading about it, I guess, and it's nice, and I'm very gratified by that. But, okay, so tonight's show I wanted to make a little bit different, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Let me just move on because I want to first, at the very beginning when I first started doing the show and I realized after I watched it at home that I was making mistakes, and I felt badly about that. The next show I would correct all the mistakes, and then Laura said, don't bother, just get right onto it. And I followed that advice, and I feel good about that. But there were two mistakes I made that bothered me tremendously, and I really have to correct them. One of them was my favorite artist, Domenico Ghirlandaio, and I felt really badly that I'd screwed up his birth year. So there it is. That's the way it should have looked, 1449 to 1494. And you'll see something very interesting about those numbers. Having been a mathematician, that immediately struck me as this is why I think I screwed it up. Because, you see 449 and 494, and there's the 1. So you can see how you might mess up those numbers because there's an interesting, sequence of numbers there, and that could be the reason why. Anyway, so that's Domenico, and I love that guy because he's, a brilliant artist, and I wish I could have known him. As you can see, he only lived 45 years because in those days, that's the way it was. Now, this is what bothered me even more, because I was referring to this church, and I was describing the this part of the church as being the apse, and I know full well that was not the apse, that was the nave. So I decided to show you a visual image of what a church looked like during the Middle Ages, and actually the Gothic period. Yeah, this is what churches generally look like even now. And there is the nave, which is the long part of the church, and then the middle part is called the transept, and that part in the middle there between the north and the south transept is called the crossing, and then there's the altar, and the altar is located in the spot where the apse is. The apse is really at this part of the church right here. So that's the apse. This is the nave, so I got that mixed up. And that tends to happen to me, you're trying to think on the run, and, I'm getting older. I'm not the same young guy I used to be, so it's a little difficult. But that sets the record straight. That area in the back there is called the sacristy, and that's usually a burial area. But, this is the way most churches look today, and most churches face east towards the sunrise, and that's that's the way they look. So that being said, um, we okay, I understand what's going on here, so I have to go back to this. This is what the first part of the show is going to be. I decided that what I would like to do is show you a retrospective montage of some of the really memorable moments that have happened over the past year. And some of these will be my favorite pictures of big cities. Some of them will be smaller cities, landscapes, and other things. And it takes about 13 minutes, and I have some generic music that plays in the background related to an Italian theme. And I will not say anything during this time, but for the next 13 minutes, this will be a summary of what the past year on Alan's Italy has been all about. So, Ellen, if you're ready, here we go. I back on? Yeah. Okay, so here we are again. I hope you enjoyed that. That was my little montage of the key events of the past year. And now what I thought I would do is do some other things. And some of the things I thought I was going through all the videos that Laura and I have. We have about 200 videos, some of which I've shown on the show, some of which I haven't. And I've decided that I was going to choose my favorites. So these are my favorite, and I don't know how many we'll have time for, because it's now about 5:30, but we'll see. I have quite a few here, and these are some of my favorites. This is the first one we're going to look at is the one of me driving through that horrible icy area of western Tuscany when I was just absolutely the most terrified driving I've ever been in my life. And this is the video that Laura took, and I just, this is the video right here. So here we go. Well, let me just do this, and here we go. So the sound should be on this.
The ride of a lifetime. Very scary.
Hairpin turns is the one we're now making. This is a hairpin turn.
Snow mountain. Snow
Want me to stop and you can roll down the window so you can see the mountains better? No? Doesn't make a difference?
Doesn't make a difference because the snow will be, the sun is blinding over there.
Is it still going as we're speaking?
Yeah.
All right. Well, keep it going.
Okay.
I'd like to put in a little word here.
Yes.
We were trying to get to Castel Nuovo di Garfagnana. The Garfagnana mountains. Luca said they were hills, but now I'm going to have a little discussion with him about that. These are mountains, very high mountains, probably about 7,000 feet, and we made it, I would say, about 1/3 of the way to Castel Nuovo di Garfagnana, and then we stopped and came back, mainly because the road was icy. There was a lot of ice and snow, and it was more and more, and we hadn't reached the top yet, so I was just afraid that when ice scares me, riding on ice, so we decided to turn back the other way. I got a little too nervous. Laura's taking the picture. For some reason, Laura's been as cool as a cucumber. And I could only attribute that to her confidence in me as a driver. Either that or she just has nerves of steel.
I wish we could stop right here. Look,
Yeah, we're on another one of those hairpin turns. Are you still doing the video?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm stopped.
I'm sorry about a couple of things. One is that all the stuff at the bottom of the screen, I can't prevent that. So, when you show a video, that's what you get. And this is a video that Laura took approaching one of the most beautiful small hill towns in all of Italy, Monte Regione in central Tuscany, not far from Siena and San Gimignano. And this is us approaching that town, although we decided not to go to it, and you'll hear why in just a moment. So here we go. We're approaching the town of Monte Regione. It's a beautiful hill town with little towers around the side and walls. It was an outpost of Siena in the 15th century. And this is what the town looks like as we get closer to it. It's a beautiful little town. We're not going in it because Laura's been there twice. I've been there 3 times. So we're kind of tired of it. But this is what the town looks like approaching from the west.
Okay.
Okay. That's central Tuscany. That stuff on the bottom went away, so that's good. Okay, here's the next one. This is on from left to right. That's my friend Mary and Mary's partner Luca, Luca's an old friend of mine, and that's me. And Laura's was taking this picture of us, and in the middle of the picture, I came up with the brainstorm that I would like to whistle The Godfather on camera. And Luca said, let's alternate parts of The Godfather. So we decided to do that. And this is Luca and I whistling the theme of The Godfather, him looking as cool as a cucumber, smoking a cigarette, and me trying to maintain a straight face because I just felt like cracking up. And this is what that looks like. So here we go. By cracking up in the middle. So unfortunately, that's what happened. This is one of my favorite videos. This fellow is a fellow that Laura and I met in 2007 in the city of Vienna, Austria. And he plays the glasses. He gets these crystal glasses and fills each one with a different level of water, and then plays a Mozart symphony. Well, he does Mozart in Venice, in Vienna. He does, Italian music in Italy. This is not in Vienna, though. This is the video we took of him in Venice. And after we had taken this video, Laura went up to him and said, "We also have one of you in Vienna." And he very coolly looked at it and said, "I've been all over the world, and I do this act, and I make a lot of money, and I'm world famous, and this is what he sounds like doing one of his symphonies using just glasses filled with water." So here we go. That's the amazing, I don't even know his name, but, we've seen him all over the world now. And he's actually standing next to the famous Galleria Accademia in Venice. So he's, one of our favorites. This is a video that Laura took. We woke up one morning on Lake Como, and it was so peaceful and wonderful. And we'd heard birds singing that I said, "Laura, you got to get this on camera, on video." So this is the video she did of waking up early on a Lake Como morning. So So this is what it's like. This is why we love Lake Como so much, because when you wake up in the morning, this is what it's like. You get this view, and you get the birds chirping, and it can be pretty relaxing, even for somebody, who's really pent up from traveling around Italy and driving and making all kinds of horrible situations with that. but this is what you get, so this is why we go here. And that view of that town in the distance is the town of Bellagio. So, you know, this is pretty beautiful, and this is another one of my favorites. This is a very interesting one. We were having dinner with Lydia and her family, and that, you know, from left to right, that's Lydia's brother Mario, and next to Mario is his wife Annalisa and Laura. And, you know, Laura's an artist, but among her many hobbies is bead making. And these people in Lydia's family are all craftspeople because they make leather products, and they're very interested in anything, you know, involved in design and creation of leather and beads and so on. So they convinced Laura to give them a bead demonstration, and Lydia took a picture of this, but I took the actual video, and this is what it's like: Lydia giving the Lo Schiavo family a demonstration of bead making. So here we go.
4.
I think this is a moving picture of Laura
I leave a little bit at the end.
showing her beading process
Then I come around and I go through the last bead.
for Annalisa, Mario,
I
Lydia, in Lydia's kitchen.
and I pull. So I get a 4.
Oh my.
Then I have to start at the top. So I go through this one.
Cioè 2 a 2,
And
no,
this
1 a
one,
2 alla
too.
volta.
Okay. Okay, so now I take 3. 1, 2, 3.
Poi vedete come fa a chiudere.
And I go through the 4th one down here.
Ah, quindi quello vecchio. Un giro di... Ah, ho già capito. Ogni 3 va a chiuderlo su quell'altro di prima, capito?
And then I turn it over and I go
4,
through the
5,
2 again.
8, 4, 12, 15. Fate un 3 facce di 5. Ho capito.
Okay, so that's Laura giving a bead demonstration to the Lo Schiavo family, and that's only 3/6 of the number of people involved in the leather making at the, Laura's, at Lydia's leather store in Florence. And, they're wonderful people, and we always have a great time with them. This is a video that I threw in. This is probably the most beautiful hotel, probably in the top 3 that we've ever stayed in. This is the Hotel Park Lauren in Bolzano, Italy. And we had a wonderful time here, and we thought that this hotel was so beautiful, and you're going to see that it's just an incredible place, that Laura took a video, and this is what the video is: in Bolzano, Italy, the Hotel Park Lauren. So once again, here we go.
Yeah, it's on.
The
All right.
Park Lauren Hotel.
Wait a second.
It'll open. The reception.
Lovely.
Reception. Turn it to the right. A very nice hallway.
That's towards breakfast room.
A lounge and a bar, which is quite beautiful.
Ah, the bar. I want to get the frescoes. I don't know if it'll come out.
Let's do the patio.
Yes.
You still on?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this there's a lovely patio where they were at a cappuccino last night.
Yes.
7. This is the patio area. Let's go towards the pool, which I
Okay.
didn't use because I was too tired to lift my arm to actually swim. Too tired to do anything. It's a little lovely sitting area.
Where the
Outdoor
restaurant
area.
is.
There's a lovely sitting area over here.
Which way
we
we
have to
going?
go through these
We'll go
people.
through this.
We're going to have to get through this, even though it looks It's really embarrassing. We have to do it because we'll not be here again in the near future. Then,
the honeysuckle over there. And these gorgeous flowers.
when they speak English,
And
so
a
they know
little-
what we're saying.
Playgrounds, if you have children.
If you have children, which we don't, we do have large ones, but not small ones. And then there's
And today's Anna's birthday.
today's Anna's birthday. We called to her to wish her a happy birthday and sang happy birthday.
What is
This
this
is the
red
pool
thing?
area.
This is a sculpture.
This is a sculpture. These are the gardens. The gardens are magnificent. Laura took about 86 pictures here yesterday. And obviously she will someday do a painting that incorporates all these beautiful things. Just as she will do the lake. Try to the cadenza.
And the
Beautiful
elephant
gardens. The
sculpture.
elephant sculpture is little elephants on top of each other.
And there's another sculpture down there I like.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful
then
garden.
there's a trellis I like.
Okay, so, you know, that's the park, Lauren, and, you know, it was a beautiful hotel. You saw that lobby area with the bar was like one of the most beautiful spots. And we don't usually sit in bars, but we did there because we had a little cappuccino, because it was just wonderful. And then the gardens are magnificent. So that's one of the most beautiful hotels. This is Laura was in a bead store picking out some beads, and I was taking a video of what it looks like on the Grand Canal in Venice, with a vaporetto pulling into the station and a gondola coming across the Grand Canal. I indicate in the video that the gondola ride is €50. What I meant is 50 cents euro. So just to get that, and here we are ready to begin. So here I am. You ready?
This is the Vaporetto and Traghetto stop at, the Traghetto stop is at San Samuele, and the Vaporetto stop is at Carezzonico. That's a Vaporetto right there in the foreground, and chugging its way across the canal coming towards us, you can see it there right in the middle, is a Traghetto. This is the device that takes people across the Grand Canal. If you don't want to go all the way around to one of the bridges and you don't want to shell out $6 on a Vaporetto ride, you take this gondola, I think it's €50, and it takes you across the Grand Canal. The guy kind of looks like a gondolier. He's coming towards us right now and is about to dock. He's turning now, and he's about to dock right over here. It takes a couple of minutes, and it's a very nice way of getting across the Grand Canal. You disembark over here at the same spot, pretty much as the Vaporetto stop is located.
All right, so that's what it's like, you know, watching the events on the Grand Canal. When your wife is in a bead store buying some beads, that's what it's like, you know, hanging out and seeing the activities going on out there. And there's always a lot going on because the Grand Canal is like Main Street of Venice. You know, if there was there's always a Main Street. Well, that's Main Street in Venice, and that's what it looks like taking one of those gondolas. It's not a real gondola ride. It's called a traghetto, which is like a little ferry that takes you across. This is the town of Menaggio, and it's a very pretty piazza, and we took a very brief video just to get the feeling of what it's like being on the other side of Lake Como, from where we usually stay at the Hotel Villa Cipresi. So here we go again. Sorry, Ellen's jumping up and down here.
This is the main square in Menaggio. Outdoor cafes. Right on, go right around to the water, so you can see that we are right on Lake Como. Pretty nice. Lakefront.
Yeah.
Beautiful town. Back to the square.
Okay, so that's the town of Menaggio on Lake Como. That's a pretty nice town. And this is one of my, another favorite town. This is the town of Manarola on Cinque Terre. So Cinque Terre, was the fourth most watched of all of the videos I have on YouTube. So this is the reason, this is what people get to see when they see pictures of this. So here we go.
Well, this is Manarola. There's not much more to say. It's amazingly beautiful.
Look at the sky.
Go back to the town.
I will.
Slowly. All right.
So that's just a brief video of the town of Manarola in Cinque Terre. Very popular place to visit. I'm sort of running out of time a little bit, so I think I'm going to pick and choose. This is the one with that. This is, let me see what I have actually. Okay, I like this sequence. This is a very nice sequence. This is me in the town of Montepulciano, and we're doing a tour of the piazza, and then we do a tour of the alleyway leading to the hotel, and then the hotel itself. So I'll just let this go 3 in a row, so you don't have to get back to my voice for the next 3, okay?
You're probably asking that question by now. We are in the town of Montepulciano. We were supposed to be traveling around the countryside with Joe and his antique classic cars, but unfortunately there's so much fog in the valley that we're not able to travel. So we're here in Montepulciano spending the day and having a really nice time. We had a nice lunch, and now you're looking at, you can do a span of the place. This is the Piazza Grande, which is the main piazza in Montepulciano.
There's some construction going on also.
Ubiquitous construction. Right behind us is actually the Duomo, which,
All right.
it's nothing special really. It's, as Duomos go, it's just a regular Duomo. It's got some paintings by some very minor type painters of the Tuscan Renaissance, not Florentine, but there is something by Andrea della Robbia, a porcelain thing. His brother Luca was busy that weekend, so he came down and did it. So, and now I think we're going to do a video of the hotel. So let's walk to the hotel a little and maybe give you a little idea as to what we have to go through to get to this place, which is not a small feat. We have small feet, but...
Yeah, 1 second. We can get the
Still
Duomo.
on?
Yeah, it's still on. Yeah.
No, still on the video.
We're walking to our hotel in Montepulciano, the name of the hotel. Oh, there goes the... They already rang that about 2 minutes ago, but they're ringing it again because they just have nothing better to do. This is the Hotel Mueble Il Riccio. This is a 13th century seminary, the fellow told us, and we're now going in the front door. It's quite amazing. There's a little garden here, a little loggia.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
I want to get the mosaic. All right.
This is an amazing place. This is owned by Gio and Ivana, who are very nice people. We're now going into the hotel, which requires that we actually have to go up these steps, which we are now doing. We're going up the steps, and then we have more steps to go up. This is not even, we're not even at the hotel yet. This There's all kinds of construction taking place. To get in,
I'm turning this off.
I'm taking a video. 1 second. Come back over
Say
here.
hello.
Come over here. This is Joe, the owner of the hotel, along with his wife. He's a wonderful man.
Thank you.
And we're coming into the hotel now.
Okay. And
Oh, how lovely.
lunch is good?
Oh, beautiful.
Bene, 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 perfetto.
Peachy,
Sì, pomodoro e
Very
aglione.
good.
Oh, very good.
Very good.
Okay.
So Laura's taking a video now. Don't leave anything out. It's such a beautiful place.
Yes, beautiful.
Here we are.
We'll wrap it up. So that's one of my favorite hotels. I've only stayed there once, but it was a memorable experience. And the fellow standing behind me, Joe, is the owner of the hotel, and he has antique cars. And when you go there, you could pay to have him drive you around the countryside in one of his antique cars. So that's a really nice experience. I had a couple of more, but we'll save them for another time because we've run out of time. So let me go to the ending here and say a few words. So I'd like to say to my viewing audience, in all the various ways that people have seen the show, either live or in repeat or on YouTube, that it's been my pleasure to bring the show to you over the past year. And I'd like to thank you for taking an interest, and for those of you who have stopped me in the streets of Woodstock and in restaurants and art gallery openings and so on, and have given me encouraging words, I thank you. And we will try to bring you some really great shows over the next year. And I have some great ideas in mind, and there doesn't seem to be any end in sight. I have at least 20 to 30 more shows that I'm thinking of, and I look forward to bringing them to you. So for now, once again, buonanotte e buona fortuna.